So, good afternoon. Today, we came to our prompting class, day 19. So, today we will be dealing with one topic called as dispersion trenches and manhole. Okay, two topics we'll be covering today, and by today, our topics will be ended, will be ending, and tomorrow I'll be taking the project implementation class. Okay, so yeah, today we'll be focusing on dispersion trenches. So last day we were studying a septic tank and the sock pit, etc., right? So we know what is the purpose of septic tank, what's the purpose of sock pit or wastewater pit, we know it. Okay, in some cases the effluent from the septic tank is more, or the direct water from the waste or from the toilets is very huge in quantities. We cannot give it directly into the sock pit. Okay, so in such cases what we do is that we will be shifting to another mode of sedimenting this wastewater or disposing this wastewater, called as dispersion trenches. So we will be making a dispersion trench, okay, for disposing this wastewater, mainly this wastewater coming out as a huge effluent. Okay, so uh, so in case if we cannot forward with sock pit, okay, because of some reasons like percolation or something like that. Not only that, mainly it is not because of that, mainly because of the amount of water, okay, is very huge. In that case, how can we build a pit, okay, with a huge size? So we'll be having, we cannot dig, the wastewater pit to a very high depth. Okay, in such cases, we have to use this dispersion trenches. We'll be having dispersion trenches, and we have to construct dispersion trench. Okay, in such a way that you know, uh, you know, the wastewater has to be disposed properly. Okay, so today we will be dealing with dispersion trenches, and after completing of dispersion trenches, we will be dealing with manholes. Okay, it's a simple small topic, manhole. Okay, so first we can see what is this dispersion trench. Dispersion trench. So first I will share my screen. So dispersion trench. Okay, so today we will be dealing with dispersion trench. So this is the inlet, or you know why we are using dispersion trench, correct? So if the effluent or the water or the wastewater is in a huge quantity, it is very difficult in a practical sense to store it in a sock pit. So the sock pit, the property of the sock pit is that it has to soak the water. Okay, so if the effluent quantity or the wastewater quantity, if it is in a high or a huge quantity, it is very difficult for to soak away that much amount of water. Okay, so but because each day the water is been coming, correct, so some days there it could overflow, and it would affect all the nearby places. Okay, so disposing is very very important. Okay, so in such cases, if there is a practical issue in making sock pit, we will be shifting to a option called as dispersion trench. Okay, so this is just the inlet of a dispersion trench. Okay, this is just the inlet of the dispersion trench. Dispersion trench. Okay, so yeah, initially the wastewater will be coming through this 100 mm inlet pipe, and these are small trenches. This is the sectional view. Okay, side view. See this. This is the ground. This is the ground floor or ground level. This is the manhole. Normally it's a size of 60 centimeter to 60 centimeter. So you can inspect and you can do some servicing or maintenance. And there should be an 100 mm air vent should be provided. Okay, and mainly this difference will be 4 meters. Okay, the height is 0.4 meter, and this thickness is 0.12 made up of RCC. Okay, this is the main pipe. And this pipe, when you see the plan view, then only you can understand this properly. Okay, so I will show you the plan view also. This is the sectional view. Okay, so these are small trenches only. This 1 2 3 4 small trenches through which pipe is being flowing. Okay, these are different pipes flows through the trenches. Now this is the main pipe. Okay, this the water from this pipe will be coming. This is the main pipe. From this main pipe only, it will be, there will be a slope. This is like a slope. Okay, there is a slope, and the water will be, disposed, or the water will be allowed to move through these pipes. Okay, this pipe is being kept inside a trench only. Okay, so I will show you the sectional view of a trench also. So this is the dispersion trench total. How it looks like. Yeah, you can see in this section. So when you see the plan view, you can you can understand it more deeply. Okay, so this is just when you are seeing this view, you need to know only this is just only the inlet, okay, only the inlet chamber, you can say, like an inlet chamber. Okay, these are different pipelines. This is the main pipe through which this is connected. Okay, so the height is 0.4 meter, this thickness is 0.12, this width is normally 4 meters. Okay, the size of the manhole is 60 into 60 centimeter. So let's see. So this is the plan of the dispersion trench. So you can just see here, right? This is the portion that we have seen just before. Understood? So this is not, this is just the inlet portion of the dispersion trench only. So you can see here, this is the plan view of it. So this is the main 100 mm inlet pipe, and it has been distributed through these pipes. So you can see 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 like that. Okay, the same thing, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. Okay, it shows like that. Okay, so this is the section view, and this is the main view or plan view. Okay, so through this main inlet pipe, this might be coming from the overflow of the septic tank. Okay, or from directly from the wastewater also you can use this, or the water which is coming from the toilets. Okay, and here you will be giving an air vent. This is 0.12 meter RCC. This width is 0.6, and this is almost 0.4, something like that. Okay, now according to the size it will change. Okay, according to the need it will change, according to the dispersion it will change. So you can see, here the main pipe, it has been swapped, and it has been entering into this small trench. It is entering into this small trench. Okay, you can see here, and there is a 3 meter difference between each trench. Okay, there's a 3 meter difference, and this is a 80 mm diameter pipe only. This is the 80 mm diameter concrete or cemented concrete pipe, or a loose or pipe loosened joint. Okay, and its slope is 1:500. And normally it is 1:500 or 1:400 also you can take it. Normally the length will be 30 meter in length. Okay, 30-meter length, and it will be 80 mm or 100 mm also you can take it. Normally it will be 80 mm concrete pipe, or pipe loose and joint only. Pipe loose joint pipes only will be used. Okay, this will be kept inside a trench. Okay, so this is the plan of dispersion trench with the distribution box. These are the diversion chambers or distribution boxes, we can call it. Okay, so this is normally 30 meter, and you can see here, from here it is been allowed to flow. Okay, the wastewater is allowed to flow like this. Okay, this pipe is flowing through a trench only. Okay, these are flowing through trenches only. Okay, the pipes are flowing through trenches only. So you can see the construction is going like this. It is going like this, and there should be a distance of 3 meter, and we'll be seeing how you get this 3 meter and all those things we can see. Okay, and this is thickness is 0.12, this width is 0.6 meter, inlet is 100. Okay, it has been splitted, or it has been distributed, that is. Okay, so this is the plan. Okay, this is the plan. The section of this area we have initially seen. Okay, in this diagram. Okay, this is the section, and this is the plan. Okay, from here it has been distributed, and this is the diversion chamber. So because of this diversion chamber, you can just divert the flow, okay, to this side. Now, this is the, trench. This is the trench. And you can see this is the 80 concrete pipe loosened joint, okay, pipe loose joint, okay, concrete pipes only, cement concreted pipes only, okay, or you can have stone pipes also is there, okay. That is the special type of pipes that is used for this dispersion trenches, okay. Don't use any other pipes. We are not using any other pipes. So this has to be set, distributed. Okay, this has to be absorbed by the trench. That's why we are using this type of pipe loosed joints, jointed pipe. Okay, so this pipe is being flowing through a trench only. Okay, this is flowing through a trench only. So you can see this section of the trench. See, this is the loose joined pipe, 80 or 100 with the slope 1 by 400 to 1 by 500. So that is shown here. 80 concrete pipe loose joined with slope 1:500. So this is the trench. Okay, this is a section of the trench, and you can see here this will be this depth will be varying. Okay, according to the slope. Okay, refilled with excavation air. This will be filled with mud. Okay, and this is the loose joined pipe, 80 or 100 and you can see here this is the this pipe is around the pipe it is filled with gravel or crushed stone of 40 to 70 so you can fill this with you can fill the loose joined pipe with gravel or crushed stone, so because it will help for more absorption. Okay, and you can see here this will be normally 0.5 meter. This height will be 0.5 meter where it is filled with the gravel or crushed stone. So this will be normally 100 means this will be 0.10 meter. Below you have to have 0.25 and above 0.15 meters to be filled with the gravel. So the total will be 0.15 plus 0.1 plus 0.25, it is 0.50. Okay. So this depth will be varying, I have already said, because of the slope difference. Okay. This is the ground floor or ground level. Okay. And so this is the main pipe. Okay. This is the main pipe in the sense this is the dispersion pipe. This pipe. Okay. So normally the length will be 30 meter. The pipe diameter will be 80 or 100 Okay. The difference will be 3 meter. Okay. So next also it is the same picture only. Okay, same picture only, you can see here, same picture only. It will be 0.5 to 1 meter only, normal length. Okay, sorry, normal. This is okay. This is 0.5 meter to 1 meter is the normally it will be 1 meter is the trench width. Okay, when you are seeing from the section, this is the section. Normal it is 1 meter. 1 meter width is the 0.5 to 1 meter. Okay, is the width, and this is 100 this is being surrounded with gravel or crushed stones. This is again being refilled with excavated earth. Okay, and this should be in the slope of 1:400 or 1:500. Okay, this is also same only. Okay, same thing. Now, just giving a small description about it. If a huge quantity of effluent from the septic tank is to be dispersed, okay, then dispersion trenches are preferred. Okay, effluent from septic tank is collected in a distribution box. So that's what we have seen here. This is called as distribution box. This is called as distribution box where we can distribute it. We can distribute the water properly. Okay. So this is called as distribution box where there will be a manhole also to inspect all those things. There will be a manhole in the top of it. Air vent will be there. So this is the distribution box. So this is the benching of distribution box where we'll be giving slope and properly the water will be reached to all these trenches or pipes. Okay. So this is called as distribution box. So the effluent from septic tank is collected in a distribution box and allowed to flow into individual dispersion trenches. Okay, So first it will from the effluent from the septic tank is being dispersed and into the dispersion trench. Like the effluent from the septic tank is first is collected in the distribution box, and then it is allowed to flow in individual dispersion trenches. Okay. Now dispersion trenches when placed in parallel are spaced at a minimum distance of 2 meters. Okay, this trench to trench should be minimum of 2 meter difference should be there. From center to center, it will be approximately 3 meters will be there. Okay, so you can see here, it is 3 meter is shown. This 3 meter is actually it is from the center to center only. Okay, from this center to this center only, it will be showing 3 meter. Otherwise, the minimum distance should be 2 meter. Minimum should be 2 meter. So the dispersion trenches when are placed in parallel are spaced at a minimum distance. Okay, it's a minimum distance of 2 meter apart, and usual length provided is 25 to 30 meter. So when you are trying to do a dispersion trenches, the usual length is 30 meter in length, and the width is the width of the at least there should be 2 meter space between two trenches. Okay, two trenches there should be 2 meter width. Now radial type dispersion trenches are also in practice, or some other type of dispersion trenches are also also in practice, but normally we use this type of dispersion trenches. Now dispersion trenches are 0.5 to 1 meter wide, so that we have already seen. So this is 0.5 to 1 meter wide. Okay, so you can see here 0.5 to 1 meter is the wide of the dispersion trench. The dispersion trench. Inside this dispersion trench only, the pipe will be routed. So dispersion trenches are 0.5 to 1 meter wide, excavated in a slope between 1:400 to 1:500. The slope is 1:400 to 1:500. Now, what type of pipe is being flowing is being used here is loose joint stoneware pipes or cement concrete pipes are used. Okay, so this is the material of the pipe. Okay, that we'll be using for dispersion trenches, so that the water can be absorbed or percolated. So loose jointed stoneware pipes or cement concrete pipes of 80 mm to 100 mm are laid in trench above a bed of gravel or crushed stone of size 40 mm to 70 mm of a depth of 25 centimeter, and the top of the pipe is also covered with gravel and crushed stone of a same size for a depth of 15 centimeters. That's what we have seen here. So this is our loose joint pipe of 80 mm or 100 mm, which is been sloped in the ratio of 1:400 or to 1:500. Now you can see below this pipe, it is 0.25 meter is been or 25 centimeter is been filled with gravel or crushed stones. Okay, and above this pipe you can see almost over 15 centimeter 15 centimeter is been covered with the same gravel or crushed stones. Okay, so that's what it is written here. Loose jointed stoneware pipes or cement concrete pipes of 80 mm to 100 mm are laid in trench above a bed of gravel or crushed stone of size 40 mm to 70 mm for a depth of 25 centimeter, and the top of the pipe is also covered with the gravel or crushed stone of the same size for the depth of 15 centimeter. Okay, so that is about the dispersion trench. So now we are going to do a problem, and let's see how to calculate a dispersion trench. So if you get a question and in practical way that you need to do a dispersion trench, how can you calculate, and how much numbers of trenches that you need to do, or how much that all those things you need to know it. Okay, so first we are going to do a problem. It's a very simple only, very simple thing only. Dispersion trench designing is also very simple. So now one thing is given is here is the balance that is filled with excavated earth. Okay, the top, from the there is a stone loose joint pipe is there. Above it 15 centimeter, below it 25 centimeter is been filled with gravel or stones, crushed stones. Above it is been filled with excavated earth. Okay. Only bottom area of the trench is counted for percolation of effluent. The top area is not counted. Okay. Only the bottom area, because it is been coming to the down. The top area is not counted for the percolation of the effluent. Okay. Only the bottom area. Only the bottom area is calculated. Okay, so so you can see here, this is being filled with the excavation or excavated earth, right? So this area we are not, regarding this one. Okay, we are taking care of only of this bottom area. Okay, this area we are skipping, because this effluent is not being percolated, okay, towards this side. That is the thing that we are assuming it. That's what it said here. The balance depth is filled with excavated earth. Okay, the balance depth means the height above the pipe, that is 15 centimeter. So above that, it is being filled with the excavated earth. Okay, you can fill it with your with mud. Okay, and only bottom area of the trench is counted for percolation of the effluent. Fine. Now we are going to deal with the question. Okay, now we are going to see a question, and we are going to find out the dimension of the dimension of the dispersion trench. Okay, so I will read out the question. Calculate the dimension of a dispersion trench or of dispersion trenches to dispose the effluent of a small community of 30 houses. Okay, so you know that in big effluent, if the effluent is very high, then only we'll be using dispersion trench. So it is asked that to dispose the effluent of a small community of 30 houses. Each house is having 5 person. Okay, supply of water is at the rate of 60 liter per capita per day. Okay, the water usage by a person is 60 liter per day. Okay, and assuming only 80% of it is entering into the septic tank. So you know that when you are using 100% of water supply, only 80% will be coming back to the, or assuming only 80% will be coming back to the septic tank. Okay, rest it will be going as evaporation or some other ways, it will go. Correct. So we have to assume only 80% of the entering into the septic tank. Now percolation rate is also given here as 30 liter per meter square per day. Okay, it is also given. That data is also given. So you know that how to find out the percolation rate, right? Yesterday we have seen how to find out the percolation rate by digging 2-3 pits and filling the water, and again just allowing it to sweep away, and the next day again you are filling it. Okay, that you have already seen, and you know how to take a percolation test in a place. So normally, that will be given by those people who go there and take the percolation test, and we can ask them what is the percolation rate in your area, or we can ask them to take a percolation test. Okay, and they will be giving the rate, percolation rate. That is here it is already given in the question. Okay, and they have found that it is 30 liter per meter square per day. So yesterday itself I have said you that if the percolation rate is not given, or they have not found out, when you see that the it is porous, or it is sand or gravel type of mud, you can assume it as 20 or 30. In the range of 20 to 30, you can just assume it. Okay, so yes, now coming back to our solution. Okay, so what is given? 30 houses are there. There are 5 persons each, and the water supply rate is 60 liter per capita per day, and the percolation rate is 30 liter per meter square per day. So this is the given data. Now what we have to do is that we have to find out the area required for the dispersion trench, as well as the number of dispersion trench. That is also important. Okay, you can see here many number of dispersion trenches here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, like that. Okay, we need to know the number of dispersion trenches, as well as we need to know, you know, the area also, the area required for this also. Okay, so let's see. So daily water supplied is equal to number of houses into number of person into per capita water supply. So we are going to find out the daily water that is being supplied. Okay. So number of houses means 30 houses. We are going to find the total daily water supplied. Okay. So number of houses is 30. In each house, we can assume as one house it is 5%. So 30 into 5 into how much is the per capita, which is 60. 60 liter per capita per day. So 60 liters of water is being used by 5 persons in each houses. Okay, so 60 liter is being used per person. Okay, for 30 houses. Okay, so in each house there are 5 persons. So 30 into 5 into 60. So they are using 9,000 liter per day. That is the water demand. Okay, 9,000 liter per day. And we know that the wastewater outflow will be only 80% of the water that is being used. Correct. So 80% of 9,000 will be 80 divided by 100 into 9,000. So you'll be getting almost 7,200 liter per day. So this 7,200 liter per day is being, discharged into the septic tank. Okay, this is discharged into the septic tank, and now this is the flow rate. Wastewater flow rate is being given, or wastewater outflow is given as 7,200 liter per day. Now, the next thing that what you have to know is that you have to know the area, how much area you have to utilize for this dispersion trench. So you know the water is coming is 7,200 liter per day, and you need to know the area. So in order to know the area, you know the formula, right? Volume per day divided by population rate, you will be getting the area. So this flow rate divided by population rate, you will be getting the area. That is a formula. So volume per day. How much is the volume per day? Is 7,200 liter is the volume. Okay, 7,200 divided by population rate. How much? 30 liter. 30 liter per meter square per day. So that is the population rate of the soil. So so you can write as volume by day divided by population rate by day as 7,200 divided by 30. Then you will be getting the area. So when you are cancelling all those things, 720 divided by 3, you will be getting 240 meter square. So 240 meter square is the area that has to be populated, or you need, okay, for population. Okay, so you got the area. Okay, now you need to know how much trenches that you need. How much number of dispersion trenches are required, that you have to know it. Okay, so how to know that is, the diameter of the pipe that we'll be using is normally 80 mm or 100 mm. Okay, there is no change in that. Now the thing is that we need to know how many trenches that we have to place, that how much area that we have to utilize for that much trench. That's what we have seen. So initially we have already found out the area, the total area we have already. The total area means the area of the trench, area of the only for the trench. Okay, we have found this 240 is the area of the trench only. Okay, okay. The distance between the trench is also involved. Okay, apart from this. So you can see here. So this is the trench. We are going to this 240 meter square is the area of this trench only, and there is a space difference of 3 meter between the center to center of the trench. Okay, if you are calculating, that means the area will be increasing. The total area will be increasing. Now we are calculating only for this trench only. The area of only for this particular trench only we are calculating. Okay, let's see. So and we got us how much? 240. Okay, so 9,000 liter per day is total. We will be getting 7,200 liter of its 80%, and the population rate we know it, and the area is 240 meters square is the dispersion trench area only. Okay, so don't get confused with the total area and this dispersion trench area. So dispersion trench area is 240 meters square. Now, assuming a trench width of 1 meter and the length of 30 meter, So you know that the normal width of the trench is 1 meter and the normal length of the trench is 25 to 30 meter. That we have already seen. So here we are assuming the normal trench width will be 0.5 to 1 and length is 25 to 30. That we have already seen. So here what I am trying to do is that I am selecting or assuming the trench width of 1 meter and length 30 meter maximum I am giving. 1 meter width and a length of 30 meter. So for an area of 240 meters, so now you listen carefully. For an area of 240 meter square, I have to give 1 meter width and a length of 30 meter. So how much or how many number of trenches that I have to accommodate in a 240 meter square area where I need to have 1 meter width as well as the length 30 meter. That's what I'm going to find out. I'm repeating how many number of trenches that I can accommodate in 240 meter square where my width of the trench is 1 meter and the length of my trench is 30 meter. Okay, so easily you can find it out. Number of trenches required will be area divided by it's this total area divided by the area of the trench. You will be getting the numbers correct. The area of the trench will be width into length, that will be 1 meter into 1 meter width and 30 meter length. Okay, so that is the area. Okay, that is the plot area that you will be getting. So 8 numbers. So 240 divided by 1 into 30 is equal to 8 numbers. So number of trenches, number of dispersion trenches that you require is 8 numbers. Okay, so 240 divided by 1 into 30 is 8 numbers. So 8 dispersion trenches are required. Okay, so you need in our question you need 8 dispersion trenches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 trenches are important of a length 30 meter. Of a length 30 meter and width 1 meter. Okay, so you got the number of dispersion trenches is 80 numbers. Now adopting a separation distance between the trenches is 2 meter. Okay, adopting a separation distance between the trenches. So between the trenches means this only. Okay, this is one trench, this is another trench. Inside this trench only this 80 mm pipe is flowing. Okay, now the distance between this end as well as this end is 2 meter, not 3 meter, 2 meter only. Okay, so how you get this 3 meter is the adopting a separation of distance between trenches is 2 meter. You can see the center to center distance of the trench will be 2 meter clear distance plus half meter, 2 half meter. 2 half meter in the sense how you can know 2 half meter. This is 1 meter only. The trench width is 1 meter. So the half of this trench will be half meter, correct? So half meter. So imagine that there is another one. Imagine that there is another one trench here. Okay, the same way one trench is here, and the distance between the two trenches is 2 meter. What will be the center to center distance between the two trench? From here to here it will be 0.5 meter if the total length is 1 meter, correct? So here 0.5 plus 2 plus again another, if there is a trench here, again you will be having 0.5 meter. So 0.5 plus 2 is equal to 2.5 plus 0.5 is equal to 3 meter. So the difference or the distance between the two trenches from center to center is 2 plus half plus half. That is 2 plus 1, 3. Okay, I think you understood how you got that. Okay, so adopting a separation distance between the trenches is 2 meter. So the total area required will be how much? So the total area in the sense now I am saying about this total area, including this 3 meter. Including this 3 meter, the total area will be how much? It is 80 into 30 into 3. 8 into 30 into 3. It is almost 720 meter square. 720 meter square is the total area, and for 240 meter will be the area of that trench only. Okay, total area of the trench is 240, and total area required for placing this trench is 720 meter square. How you got this 720 meter square is that, there's a space difference between two trenches. Okay, almost 2 meter difference will be there. So center to center distance will be almost 3 meter. So when you are trying to give a dispersion trench for this question, adopt 8 numbers of 30-meter long dispersion trench of 1 meter width. So this is the way that you will be finding out the dispersion trench. It's very simple. Okay, just know the total amount of water supply, then multiply with 80 by 100, and then divide it by population rate. Then you will be getting the area. Then you decide how much number of dispersion trenches can be placed. Okay, and after that just multiply with the area. Okay, and you will be getting the total area. Okay, 8 into 30 into 3. Okay, 8 into 30 into 3. So you'll be getting the total area. Okay, so 8 is the 8 numbers, this is the length, and this is the width. Okay, so it's 720 meters square. Now so you can adopt 8 numbers of 30-meter long dispersion trenches of 1 meter width. Okay, so any doubt in this dispersion trench? Any doubt so far in the dispersion trench? Do you have any doubt? No. So we'll be dealing with one more topic. It's manhole. Okay, manhole only. So there is not much things to study about manhole. There are things like the construction of the manhole that is not coming in our section, but still we have to know how the water is being flowing through the manhole. What's the purpose of manhole? Okay, and different sizes of manhole, different sizes and shapes of manhole we have to know. Okay, that is also important only. So what I am trying to do today is that I will teach you about the manhole and its different sizes, meaning different sizes I will show you, and what are the different shapes. Just need to understand what are the manhole. Okay, then I will show you a section and the plan view of a manhole that I have did through the AutoCAD drawing. Okay, so what is the purpose of this manhole? So you are studying, Kranti was studying, or you are in a field, right? You are working, correct? So regularly you will be having this access with this manhole, and you will be seeing manhole, especially when you are in PWD and all. You will be always accessed with manholes. So can you explain what is the purpose of this manhole, and why? What is the purpose of this manhole? Where are we using this manhole and all? Can you explain? Are you in a position to explain? Where can you see this manhole, and what's the purpose of this manhole, etc.? Any idea? Inspection, mainly for inspection and cleaning, and yeah. So mainly mainly we'll be using this manhole for inspection and cleaning and all those things. So on servicing, correct? So that's why we are using this in manholes. Okay. So this we can call it as inspection chambers also. Inspection chambers also will be calling. Okay, and any alignment change. Alignment change in the sense? Yeah, any alignment change. Yeah, any alignment change. Yeah, if there is any alignment change, not only that alignment change, if you need to, see the direction. Yes, direction of the, flow. You can use this manholes. Okay. So manholes, if it is connected with one manhole to another manhole, okay, and if you need to change the direction, you can use the manhole. Okay, so you have already seen the dispersion trench. So the same thing like this is a diversion chamber. This is a diversion chamber. So just imagine this is as a manhole in the normal sense. So from here, it helps for a diversion change. That's why it is called as diversion chamber itself. So for a diversion change, you can use manhole. And it is used for inspection. If any blockage or anything is there, you can easily uh, you know a person can get into it and he can inspect it. Okay, and you can clean or you can do any servicing thing in future. Okay, and the normally what we do is that normally there will be a distance of 30 meter. Normally 30-meter difference is been given from manhole to manhole. Okay, in a big project and all, normally a manhole to manhole distance is 30 meters is being given. Okay, in some cases even if up to 10 meters also we can provide. Okay, according to the site as well as the application that we are doing. Manhole to manhole distance would be uh, uh, 10 meters. Okay, normally in a big project and all we used to give 30 meters and all. So this manhole will be not only used for this septic tank as well as wastewater. We'll be using for stormwater drainage also. Okay, stormwater drainage also will be using manhole. So manhole can be used not only in septic tank lines or in normal wastewater or sewer lines, but it can be used in all other lines. Like it can be used in stormwater also or rainwater also. Okay, there also will be using it, and uh, then what? Then we have different shapes. Okay, let me take different shapes. So I will show you a small manhole. Uh, it's a picture of manhole only. Let's share my screen. So, so you can see here, this is the manhole. Okay, this is a section. Just imagine this is a section. I will show you a very good picture. Okay, in my AutoCAD drawing also, and this is a very simple manhole only. And you can see here, this is the height of the manhole, and imagine this is the inlet, and there should be a sloping. Okay, otherwise what happens is that the water and all those waste will be settled here. So there should be a slope. You can see here, there's a slope, and that is channeled in a semicircle. Okay, it will be in a semicircle. This will be round pipes. This also will be round pipe. This will be a semicircle in a pipe, and it should be a slope, so that the water won't be settled here. It will be easily flow, and it can be supplied or discharged through the outlet. So this is the inlet. There should be a sloping, and if you are looking from the top plan view, okay, this connection, okay, this board connection, you can see this sloping. Okay, this coming here, it is going sloped here. So here also slopes will be there. Okay, here also slopes will be there. From all the side, it will coming to this. So this will be sloped to the side, and this will be sloped to the side. So you can see the arrow. Okay, so you can see the arrow. It will be sloped. Okay, so sloping is very important. Normally this 1:40, that range only. The sloping will be there 1:40. So I will show you that. Okay, so this is the manhole section. When you are seeing from the side, it looks like this. Okay, and below this also there should be some space. Okay, that also I will show you. Okay, and this is the top view. From if you are looking from the top, you can see like this. Okay, so coming to different shapes, let me see. we have different shapes. Okay, we can have a round shape, we can have a square shape. Okay, and rectangular is also there. Okay, arch type manifolds are there. Uh, let's see. 1 second, please. Let me search. There's a recommended, manifold sizes are there, like recommended manifold sizes. This is just a size only. Okay, if the depth is less than or equal to 1 meter, normally the manifold size is 600 into 600. This is the normal that we all normally usually will be seeing. This manifold is where and all we will be keeping is, about the tanks also, underground tanks, the wastewater tank or septic tank. About that also we will be having manifolds. In dispersion trench also we have seen manifold size of 60 centimeter into 60 centimeter. We have already seen. Can you see the screen? Can you see the screen recommended manifold sizes? Can you see here? Or is it blank? Yes, okay, you can see. So if the depending upon the height, the manifold sizes can differ. So if it is less than or equal to 1 meter, 600 into 600. If the depth is it is greater than 1.776, it is less than 1.76, it is 900 into 600, and it is less than 2.5, it is 1200 into 750 mm. These are rectangular uh, manifolds only. Okay, it is greater than 2.5 meter, 1400 into 900 mm is the uh, manifold size, and with a shaft size of 900 into 800 mm, and having a shaft size. I will show you that. Okay, size of 900 into 800 mm. Okay, these are the normal size depending upon the depth. According to the depth increases, the size of the manhole also has to be increased. Okay, because the people has to inspect there and they have to reach down. Okay, so according to the depth, the size of the manholes also will increase. Okay, so proper PPE should be there. Okay, protective equipment should be handled or should be there with the uh, respective persons when they are inspecting all those things. There is lack of oxygen and all those things, correct? It will affect and it will damage even their life. Okay, and national building code, it is says that you can see here, size of manhole. The manhole or chamber shall be of such size as will allow necessary examination or clearance of drains. The size of manhole shall be adjusted to take into account of any increase in the number of entries into the chamber. So, this manhole, there is a manhole. You don't think only one entry will be coming and other it will be going out. There are many entries also can come from different areas also. 2 or 3 connections can come into the main manhole. Okay, the manhole height will be 1 meter or 2 meter or 3 meter, like that. It goes. Okay, manhole to manhole connection will be from bottom to bottom. Another any connections, it will be coming in some of some top portion of it. Okay, I will show you. Okay, anyways, so manholes may be rectangular, arc, or circular type. The minimum internal size of manholes chambers between face of manholes shall as follows. So it's a rectangular manhole for depths less than 0.9 meter. It is 900 into 800 mm. If it's a rectangular manhole. For depths, this is by NBC only, National Building Code only. For depths from 0.9 up to 2.5 meter, it is 1200 into 900. Arch type manholes for depths of 2.5 meter and above, it is 1400 into 900. Okay. The width of the manhole chamber shall be suitably increased more than 900 mm on vents, junctions or pipes with a diameter greater than 450 mm. Okay, if the the bends or junctions or pipes with the diameter greater than 450 mm, you can increase the width of the manhole. Okay, so that the bending width in each side of channel is minimum 200 mm. So bending width in each side of the channel is 200 mm. Okay, so that's why you can just increase the width of the manhole. Now coming to the circular manholes, if the depth is above 0.9 meter and up to 1.65 meter, if it is in this range, if you are using circular manholes, if it is in this range, the 900 mm will be the diameter of your uh, manhole. Okay, okay. If the depth is between point or above zero point 0.9 up to 1.65 meter, 900 mm is the diameter of your manhole. For the depths above 1.65 meter, okay, up to 2.3 meter, 1200 mm will be the diameter. For depths above 2.3 meter up to 9 meter. So you can see what will be the height of a manhole. It goes even up to height 9 meter. Not only that, even it can go up to 14 meter also. So just imagine 14 meter means how many story building? Normally one story building height is 3 meter. So you can see 14 meter height means approximately 7-story building. 7-story building. So that much manhole height can be also there. So if a person is entering into it, a sufficient diameter of the manhole should be there. Correct. So for depths above 2.3 meter up to 0.9 meter, 1500 mm diameter is being used. So if you have approximately the depth of the manhole 900 or 9 meter, don't give 900 mm diameter over there. Okay, so according to the depth, this will change. Okay, the manholes will change. Okay, in adopting just a notes are given here. In adopting the above sizes of chambers, it should be ensured that these sizes accord with full or half bricks with standard thickness of mortar joints, so as to avoid wasteful cutting of bricks. So this, when you are trying to design it, it should be properly designed with half or full bricks. Okay, then only this will be applicable. Okay, the sizes of the chambers may be adjusted to suit the availability of local building materials and economics of the construction. Okay, the access shaft shall be corbelled inwards on 3 sides at the top to reduce its size to that of the cover frame to be fitted, or alternatively the access shaft shall be covered over by a reinforced concrete slab of suitable dimensions with an opening for manhole cover and frame. So there is an access shaft is there, so the person can come inside. Okay, so that I will show you the access shaft and all those things. The access shaft shall be corbelled inwards on a 3 sides at the top to reduce its size, so that the cover frame to be fitted, or alternatively the access shaft shall be covered over by a reinforced concrete slab. Okay, the access shaft shall be covered over by a reinforced concrete slab of suitable dimension with an opening for manhole cover and frame. Okay, so there will be 2 different, for access shaft it will be different dimension, and for the manhole it will be different dimension only when it is coming towards downwards. Okay, so uh, now I will try to show you the a CAD drawing where I have did a manhole. Okay, uh, and I will share you the uh, details about that. Okay, manhole. So you have just understood about the manhole, the height of the manhole or the depth of the manhole, depending upon that what is the size of the manhole. You have seen different shapes of manhole. You have seen. You already know what is the function of manhole. Correct? You know already the function of manhole. Correct? So for inspection and testing, or not testing, for inspection purpose, calculation of sewerage line slope. So calculation of sewerage line slope means, I have already shown you, depending upon the diameter of the pipe, it will change. Depending upon the diameter of the pipe, it will change. So for normally for 100 mm pipe, normally 1:80 is the slope that we will be taking. Okay. So I will show you about, I think I have already shown you that thing, it seems. The slope, regarding the slope. Okay. What we have to do is that we have to make sure that this slope, and we have the problem related to slope also. We have found how to calculate the slope using Manning's formula also. And we have to make sure that when you are trying to do a slope, or when you are trying to get a slope of Seebeck lines, there is a self-cleansing velocity is there. Self-cleansing velocity. So normally 0.6 or 0.75 meter per second is the, you know, uh, self-cleansing velocity that we'll be using. So when you are using Manning's formula, you have to make sure that the velocity that is passing, or the velocity of the water that is passing through the, through the pipe should be 0.75. With respect to that only, you will be finding out this slope. Okay. So one second, I will show you about the slope. I think last day I have already shown you about the slope. Correct? Normally, when you are doing this slope, if it is 100 mm, or uh, I think you just go and refer, I think day, regarding the foul sewage. Foul sewage we have already did it, right? So I have shown you the slope also in that. Okay. You can see that also. Okay. Normally, if you need to know the slope, I will show you. Let me open my CAD. So normally, let me share my screen. So I think you can see the CAD drawing, this thing. So normally what I do is that provide a slope of 1:60 for 75 mm and 100 mm. So sometimes I will be giving 1:80 also for this 110 mm drainage. Okay. And 1:40 for 50 mm and 65 mm pipes. Okay. So normally what I do is that I will be giving a slope of 1:60. 1:60 means for 60 meter, 1 meter will be the slope. If you are using the pipe 75 mm or 110 mm. Okay, that is the way that you will be choosing the slope. So initially from a building, okay, there will be minimum there should be a 350 or 450 mm that should be there for the first inspection chamber. From there, if you are using 110 mm pipe, you have to link to the second, uh, inspection chamber. For example, this is one of the drawing that I have did. You can see here, this is the waste water that is coming from the water closet. You can see here, this is the inspection chamber. Okay. Okay. And let's see from here, one side. This is the water closet. From water closet, I have taken this line, and this is the SIC, means soil inspection chamber, and invert level I have given minus 450 mm. So for 45 centimeters, the invert level of this, inspection chamber. Okay. So from here, I have taken, I think I have taken 1:60, it seems. So what you have to do is that you have to measure the length. So I am asking how to find out the slope only, okay, to find out the invert level. So in order to find out the invert level, what you have to do is You have to take the distance from this center to center. The center to the center. It is approximately 5.4 meter only. Okay, this approximately 5.4 meter, 5.415 meter. So if it is 5.415 meter, you have to divide it by how much? 60. Okay, so this is the way that you will be finding out the slope. Okay, slope in the sense slope will be normal only, 1 is to 60 only, or 1 is to 80 only. Okay, and in order to find the invert level between the first chamber and the other chamber, what you have to do is that the length between two inspection chambers. So you got 514 something, correct? But it was 5415. 5415. So 5415 is the distance between the, or this 5415, this is mm, it seems. Mm is the uh, distance between the two manholes or two inspection chambers. So if I'm taking 60 as the uh, slope, you have to divide by 60. Understood? You have to divide by 60 and you'll be getting 90.25. So 90.25 will be the invert level or the slope between this one and second chamber. So here initially it will be 450. Normally you have to give 450. So what will be the slope? After the slope, what will be the invert level in this second manhole or second chamber will be? What you have to do is that 450 plus this 450 plus this will be getting 540. So actually 540 should be the invert level here. Okay, so the slope will be normally depending upon the size of the uh, pipe that we are taking. Okay, or you have to go to the Manning's formula. Okay, we have already did that, how to find out the slope. Okay, you have to go to the Manning's formula. You have to give the diameter of the pipe and what is the velocity that you are trying to give. Give 0.75. If you want to give 0.75, you can give 0.75 as a self-cleansing velocity. With respect to that, go and find out the slope. Okay. Yeah, I think that's clear for you. Now coming to the manhole. So this is the plan. This is the plan of the manhole. This is the plan view or the top view of the manhole. Okay, and you can see here. This is the way that will be coming. So this is the inlet. Okay, this is the inlet, and it can go through like this. So it can be connected from this side, and it can be connected from this side, and it can go through this side also. Okay. So it can have a connection like this also, towards this one, towards this side, and it can go through this. Understood? So this is the plan view of the manhole. Okay. Now, coming to the sectional view, you can see these are two type: backdrop type and manhole type B only. This type B and backdrop type A and manhole type A. So these are the two types of manholes. Okay, you can see two types of manholes are there. So you can see here, this is the manhole frame and cover. You can see like this. These are its materials and all those things. 75 thick precast concrete seating. Okay, rings. All those things will be common only. And this is the level, ground level, and you can see here the diameter is 1200 dia. Okay, so depending upon the depth, how much you have to give. Okay, So the depth minimum, thickness of this will be 250 mm. Okay, so you can see here. This is, this is one pipe that is entering here. This is the main pipe. Okay, and you can see this is the pipe that is coming into the manhole. This both are in two levels only. You can see here. This pipe shows the connection between manhole to manhole. This pipe shows the connection between manhole to manhole. This pipe connection can be from a collection chamber. Okay, collection chamber to the manhole. Understood? Collection chamber means, for example, if you are taking a rainwater. Okay, so you are collecting the rainwater and you are trying to give it into the manhole. So firstly, the manhole, before coming to the manhole, the rainwater will be collected in the collection chamber. From collection chamber only it will be giving into the manhole. So when it reaches the manhole, it will be in this level. Sometimes if it is in this level, you have to connect to this. So you have to take like this and you have to connect it here. Okay, you cannot directly go and connect like this because the slope will be very high. When you are giving a correct slope, sometimes the this is the other pipe only. This is not the main pipe. Okay, this is the pipe from, for example, if you take from a collection chamber. Okay, it comes here, and sometimes if you are giving a proper slope, some days it will be here, or some days it will be here, or some days it will be anywhere. From there you have to give like this. Understood? So you can see another one. This is called as a backdrop type A and manhole type A. So you can see here. Okay. Now there is a distance also. Okay. Before the invert level of the pipe, there will be a minimum. You have to give a 400 mm also. That is the depth of the manhole. That is invert level of the manhole. This is the invert level of the pipe. Below that also you need some 400 mm minimum gap should be there. Okay. Now this is another one type only. So you can see here. Instead of giving like this, you can come here and go like this, and you can see here. So you can see this should be maximum you can give for 4,000 and minimum 1,200. The distance between this one and this one, maximum it can have 4,000 mm maximum. Okay, so this pipe will be connecting to the main another manhole. This pipe is a branch pipe only. Okay, this is a branch pipe only. So from any inspection or road gullies or from any collection chambers, that pipe will be coming and contacting here. So from there it has to be attached to the main pipe. Okay, so then only you can get like this. Okay, so you can see this is the thing. So this height will be varying. Okay, this height of the manhole will vary. So that's why it is called as varies. So from here, this invert level, the branch pipe invert level, or you can call rocker pipe invert level to the main pipe invert level. Minimum the distance is 1,200, and maximum you can go up to 4,000 also mm. Okay, and yeah, so this way you can just inspect. You can come down and you can inspect it. Okay, so these are other all things. Okay, this is normal things only. Precast reinforced concrete, cover slab. Okay, pavement layers, 2 coat of solvent free epoxy paint. Okay, this is the glass B400. These are its heavy duty double triangular ductile iron manhole sealing only. Okay, drip sealing cover. Okay, all these things you have to give. Okay, now PVC rottling eye plug with stainless steel. Okay, you can close it this. You can close this one. So if any maintenance or something like that, you can access here also. The slope is 1 in 12 only. 1 in 12 only. This. Okay. So below you have to give 500 mm minimum because the diameter is 1500 only here. Okay. So it is 5200 here. So this is the manhole. Okay. This is the manhole. This is the typical cover details of unpaved areas. This is the cover details. Grip, push, fit, sealing. All those things are normal things only, common things only. Okay, when you are placing the manhole. This manhole can come up to a height of 40 meter also. Okay, depending upon that, this diameter changes. Okay, so this is the way the people will come and inspect here. Okay, the branch pipes will be settled somewhere here, here, etc. And main pipe will be going in the below only. So imagine two manholes are here, one manhole here, one manhole here. Manhole and manhole will be connected by a main pipe that is going through this. Understood? That will be below. That will be below the manhole. It will be in the bottom of the manhole. Main connection, main pipe connection. Okay, and the branch connections will be like this. Some days it may come and settle here. From there, you have to take a line and you have to attach to this main pipe. Sometimes it will be in this height. Then the same way you have to take. That's what it says that maximum of 4000 and minimum of 1200. Okay. So this will change. This will vary. And this height also will vary. Okay. This height also will vary according to the slope and all those things in the site condition. Okay. So that's all about normal about this manholes and all. Manhole mainly which is helping for 1 second please. So manhole usually it is helping for inspection purpose only. Inspection purpose. Not only that, some other branch pipes also will be attached to the main manhole. Okay. From there, it will be collected. Water will be collected and it will be supplied to the other manhole. From there, it will be connected to the other manhole. Okay. Then it will be discharged into some holding tanks or some pits or waste tanks. Okay. So yeah, that is something basics about this manholes. So today we have studied about dispersion trenches and we have studied about manholes also. So is there any doubt regarding today's topic? So tomorrow we will be seeing about a project implementation class. Okay, and regarding the slope, you should have a self cleansing velocity of normally 0.6 to 0.75 okay meter per second. Okay, that is a normal self-cleansing velocity. And if you are using the Manning's formula that we have already seen and we have already did some problems regarding the slope, and you can find the slope. Okay, you can calculate the slope. Okay, proper slope depending upon the velocity of the water that is flowing through the pipe. Okay, so just refer other questions when we have already did foul sewage. In that day we have already seen slope. Is there any more doubts regarding today's topic? Is there any more doubt? No, sir. Time is the last day. I didn't get you, Prandi. So tomorrow is the last day. Okay, tomorrow is the last day. I will teach you about the project implementation. Okay, project implementation class will be taken tomorrow. I will show you the supply and drainage sections, etc. How to draw all those things. I will take a small, simple, house or something like that. So I think there is no much doubts. Anything more? Anything more to know? Tomorrow is the last day, and tomorrow is the project implementation class. Okay. Anything else? Okay. So thank you. Thank you. Have a nice day. Yeah. So we can see tomorrow. Okay. Thank you so much.